name Brendan Ward, born and bred in Galway, but everybody calls me Benny. It was really good. Like parents, back then, you know, everyone was kind of like, it was a council estate. So I grew up in Ballyban, Clevery Park, and yeah, no, it was easy. Fun-loving. People didn't really have a lot back then. And the one thing I do remember, right, is we'd always be asking neighbours, milk, sugar, tea bags. Everyone, you know, was kind of in the same boat, but innocent. We're more innocent, and yeah, we're more. You knew everybody, and everybody looked after each other. And good fun out in the streets. And I have a little story. We have this thing back then. Our parents used to hit us when we came home at night. Where were we all day? Because we were gone all day. You know, growing up into early teens and that. But now you can't get kids to get out because they're on this, aren't they? But look, that was, yeah. Well, you know the guy, Sparky? We had so much fun at St. Michael's. And then we went to Monagisha Secondary School. Now, did we go to school? We showed up. But, you know, that was about it. But it was good fun. Yeah, we were into a bit of devilment. But I think a lot of us were like that back then. So that was, what, the late 70s? Yeah, late 70s. And yeah, one guy had a leather strap, a big thick leather strap. And we can't say the name of the principal. We just talked about it earlier. But yeah, and you had to stand in line. And you had this thing, you know, you didn't want to let your hand out. And they'd hold it and... But look, it was the tail end of it. I would have hated to have been there a few years before that. Because we all know the horror stories. And so we got lucky. Yeah, we got lucky. The pupils have the power now. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I have kids now that are reared, and they were telling me stories in school. You know, pupils kind of getting up telling teachers to shut up, or, you know, farting, you know, just being rude. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And to them it's common. But to have, a lot of pupils now have zero respect. Teachers and for the police. You know, things, so it's reversed completely. Back then, you know, if a teacher said something, if you didn't do it, you were getting tossed out and you were getting a slap. Actually, I even remember Monagisha getting like a proper punch off a teacher one time. Yeah, Sparky would tell you that as well too, because we were in the same class. Or you know the chalk dusters, chalkboard dust? It's a heavy lump of wood. And I remember that coming flying across the classroom. And a cloud of chalk dust. But we, you know, that was okay, like, you know, that was okay. But now it's gone, you know, from what I gather, because I know teachers now. And I'm a window cleaner, so I do the jazz school and places like that. And I'm not saying there are any issues, but the change in the pupils now, the psyche, we never got like kicked out of class or slapped for no reason. It was time for me to get out of the house anyways, you know, it was coming to that stage. But most of Merview, half of Galway, were over there in '88, in a place called Harlesden, Cricklewood, and jumped on a bus from up here outside of Skeff. Back then the bus, it was like, I think it was £40, and it took 24 hours to get to Cricklewood in London. 18 with a little bag, and that was it, never looked back. But you're like this little young, you know, green, thought we knew everything but knew nothing. But when we landed there, it was like a kid in a sweet shop. It was just a sensory overload, everything, the crack, the drinking, obviously all of that. You know, the Irish, what they said about the Irish was true. You know, we worked, but we drank and we partied hard. He's going to go with the rock breaker.
Okay, right, that's good. So, let's get a quick shot of what all the noise is. That's the noise, right?
That's the rock breaker. It's time to get out of Dodge. Right. These lads we knew from Merview, right? Good guys. And went up to there. They were called squats, paid no rent, you know what I mean? They just took over these block of apartments. When I went in their sitting room, there was no seats, car seats. They'd literally taken car seats out of cars, different types of car seats. That's what was in the living room. And back then, you know, people smoking the wacky backy and drinking cider, and yeah, it was different. But to see things like that, you know, no furniture. literally no furniture, but nobody had nothing. And unfortunately, or fortunately, a lot of alcohol, a lot of drinking, and we didn't really care about the other things in life. Young and carefree, yeah. And weren't in, you know, the innocence of it all. The innocence back then, you know. And there we go. And she's rocking and rolling. Let's get the fuck out of here. Come on. Andre, Eva. You know, living in Harrisden, right, with the lads and that, we were, you know, it was a black community, right? We were basically 4 or 5 of us, like guys from Galway, right, from Merview, white guys, in an area dominated by blacks, and they loved us. They absolutely loved us, right? And they used to be telling us stories, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. And to us, we were like, could not understand that. Didn't know the word racism at the time. And so they looked after us. Great crack, great stories, great times. And like I was saying there, a lot of them boys that I was with at the time, they're gone now. You know, they're dead. Some of them was drinking drugs. Unfortunately, didn't get out of that cycle. But great times. Came back home in 1990 for a couple of years. Got into a relationship, and then we went back to London in 95. Because Galway, there was nothing happening here for me. And over in London for 5 years, and a couple of kids, and came back and home in 2000. And you should see the changes in 5 years that we've seen. This thing called the Celtic Tiger happened, and we couldn't get over how fast Galway was building, changing. And so yeah, settled down, back to Galway. We have 4 kids altogether. I've 3 of them, 1 girl, Lisa, and Amy, Aisling, Ryan. And going great, and set up a little business, have a little window cleaning thing going on now. Kids reared, did their schooling, and so yeah.
How has Galway changed?
Whoa, day and night, absolutely. Sometimes they don't know the Galway. It's grown that fast. One time I could come down Shop Street and I'd be just constantly, you know, hey, hello, how are you? And now I could come down here and not know one person. That's how much it's changed. The estates that are growing up everywhere, west side, east side, it's ferocious. It's grown at the speed of it is unreal, like, and I know that's life. That's the word, it's growing so fast. Personally for me, and for a lot of people I know, it's not really for the better, you know. Maybe, you know, that I'm getting old and all of that, blah, 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 but it's too fast, too much, the traffic. Galway used to be a little town, small city. It doesn't have the infrastructure for what's happening. Sparky's gonna love this. Yoga, really, I mean, that thing, COVID. Always loved the gym, cycling, you know, but I got into yoga during the COVID. Something different. Got a few little issues going on, and I find yoga absolutely amazing. My new addiction.
Can you remember when you were at your truly happiest?
Wow, yeah. I was in London a few weeks ago. I'm always trying to be happy. I mean, you have, you know, look, there's days where, you know, it's heavy, it's hard. But I was in London a few weeks ago to see my sister. And my 2 daughters, Aisling, Amber, and my grandson, Caden. We went over for 3 nights. 3 amazing days. And I think I had this moment of clarity when I was leaving London, because we were in Brixton. We went through the old places where I used to be. And I was looking at my kids, and it was like this overwhelming love got me. It was just, and I'll never forget, a little tear that I was that happy. And my youngest said to me, oh, you know, and I said, that's because I'm so happy that I actually, you know, cried a little. It was just an amazing, you know, at the time, and yeah, moments like that, I'm really, really happy. You know, when you get it, when you appreciate things. And sometimes just having a coffee with friends, I'm really happy. I find, you know, doing things, you know, for people or, you know, things like that. But yeah, really, genuinely, that day was very, very happy.
What would be the proudest moment in your life?
Well, you know, we're going to say, you know, having the kids. I was there for the birth of, you know, 2 of my kids. Gee, wow, that was there for the death of my parents. My mum and dad passed during COVID, a year apart, and to be there when they were taking their final breath was a very proud moment. Honest to God, man. Even to this day, it's like raw. Because I didn't have the best relationship with my dad growing up, like a lot of Irish people.
Yeah.
You know, their dads were like, but see, the last 7 weeks, from start to finish, he got, cancer. And I have to say that 7 weeks was the most intense of my life. But I would do it all again, because that connection, we got it. And I was very proud of that.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Everyone has a story. I have loads. And I have regrets, yeah. I wish I'd slowed it down a bit when I was younger. Not be hitting it at, 110 mile an hour the whole time, But look, I'm here now. And I have everything. My health, my kids are all in good places. I feel a lot more solid now than I ever did in my life. A lot more content. So regrets, doesn't everybody? Like I went at a million miles an hour, England full-on partying. Look, I did a lot of traveling. I did it all, bang, bang, bang. Just slow it down a bit and be kinder to myself when I was younger. When I was going through the teenage years, 20s, 30s. I wasn't as kind, And I don't know, was it a Catholic thing or whatever? The negativity, not appreciating things, overthinking things. Yeah, overthinking was very bad. And I had issues with alcohol and all of that, so I wish I was, kinder and appreciated and took it all in a bit more. But look, I'm good now, brother.